What's going on, Packers fans? Hope everyone is having a great start to your weekend. Today, I wanted to go over basically an update on everything free agency for the Green Bay Packers as of March 19th, 2021, and also update you all on the standing of the Packers salary cap and what they can do moving forward. Before we get into it, if you aren't subscribed already, I'd greatly appreciate it if you went down and hit that subscribe button and also like the video if you enjoy my content. I upload everything Packers, from highlights to analysis, breakdowns, and all the sort. Alright, so just to go over the free agency part first, obviously Aaron Jones re-signed with the Packers. I have a video on that and why the deal is so team friendly and it's a great deal for the Packers. If you want to watch that video or you haven't already, you can click right here and you can go over there and see the exact numbers of the Aaron Jones deal and why it's so great. And then obviously our other running back, Jamal Williams, signed a 2-year $7.5 million deal with the Detroit Lions. I mean, I guess that's better than the Bears or the Vikings, but sad to see Jamal go. Such a great player and a great guy just in general. Definitely got underpaid. I thought he would get a little bit more than that, but will be hard to watch him run against us two times a year now. And then Corey Linsley goes over to LA to play with his friend Brian Bulaga, Iowa. He gets the highest paid center in the league now, 5 years, $62.5 million. You know, he deserves it. He had probably his best year of his career, all-pro center. You know, he's getting older, so I definitely see why the Packers had to move on. Plus, they really just didn't have the money to do so. So it's going to be down to basically either Elton Jenkins playing center, Lucas Patrick playing center, or Jake Hansen, who they drafted last year, playing center, or a rookie they draft this year. And again, speaking of the Lions, the GOAT Tim Boyle also signed with Detroit, so honestly, I could see him kind of pushing Goff for that starting job, which is funny to say, but I wouldn't be completely surprised if he gave him some competition there. Tim Boyle is the greatest to ever kneel down, so definitely going to give Goff some issues there. Sucks to see him go, but it's obvious Jordan Love had to take the backup role. Boyle was an impending free agent, so it just made sense to kind of give Love the backup role and let him learn some more. Also, Montravius Adams signed a 1-year deal for $2.5 million with the New England Patriots because the New England Patriots are literally signing everyone in the league. I kind of thought the Packers might look to bring him back, but obviously not. It seems they weren't as interested if he only signed for $2.5 million to the Patriots. I definitely see the Packers adding someone in the future in the free agency and also in the draft for the D-line. We definitely need more guys down there. And if you're at all mad about free agency, about, hey, Packers haven't gone after anyone, they're one of like the 5 teams who hasn't, they haven't really, you know, they're not doing anything again. At the end of the day, the Bears still signed Andy Dalton to be their starting quarterback. So that's a plus for the Packers itself. That's kind of like a free agent move for the Packers. He might just go right behind Jay Cutler in the greatest Packers quarterback of all time. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Moving down to the tenders, Robert Tonyan received a second-round tender, which is worth a cap hit of $3,384,000. Basically, what that means, the second-round designation, basically means a team can offer him a bigger contract, and if the Packers don't match it and say, hey, okay, sign Big Bob Tonyan for that amount of money, we're not paying that, then that team has to give us their second-round draft choice. If a team doesn't have a second-round draft choice, they cannot offer him a contract. So basically what this means is I fully expect Tonyan to be on the team next year. I just don't see a team paying him, you know, $7+ million a year and also giving up a second round. You know, he's a great tight end and all, but that second round's a great value, and it's a win-win. So if a team were to do that, like the Texans or something, a second round is, I think, worth it. But I'm excited to see what Tonyan can do this year. Another tender was Shannon Sullivan, original round tender, right of first refusal for $2.133 million. No-brainer here. You know, we have a lot of confidence in him in the slot cornerback role. For $2.1 million, it's definitely the right way to go. That's a very cheap deal. He's played great at times and not so great at times. I expect him to start in that slot role, and then the Packers either drafting someone for the outside spot or signing someone free agency. Kyle Fuller. And then a player they did not tender is Tyler Lancaster. I 100% saw this coming. I just didn't see them paying that out. Like I said, I see them getting other talent for the defensive line, whether it be through the draft or free agency. As for exclusive right free agents and their qualifying offers, they obviously gave a qualifying offer to Alan Lazard and the tackle NIJMAN. They both receive a cap hit of $850,000. No brainers there. You know, we need tackles Alan Lazard for $850,000 is a no-brainer. And then 2 others were Malik Taylor and Randy Ramsey. They also got qualifying offers, and their cap hit's going to be $780,000. Malik Taylor's a nice depth receiver, can play special teams, and Randy Ramsey is a pretty decent depth edge rusher. I still expect the Packers to potentially draft an edge rusher like later rounds in this draft. They do obviously have Preston back, as we know, so they do have 3 good quality rushers, and then Randy Ramsey is a depth guy, but I could still see them pretty much drafting or maybe even signing a guy. It's probably going to be like a late round draft choice, like a 6th round, right around there. Now let's move on to the money part, because as we know, the Packers cleared salary cap as of the new league year starting on the 17th. Would have been very bad if they didn't. It's never happened, but if you were to not clear that, a lot of bad things would happen. So obviously they had to get under the cap somehow. Firstly, they restructured Za'Darius Smith. We all thought it would be an extension. I think they kind of ran out of time. That's not saying an extension isn't coming, but they took $5 million of his roster bonus and $9.76 million of his base salary for 2021 and pushed it right into 2022, and that created around $7.38 million for the cap space for this year in 2021. Now, Z's cap hit for next year in 2022 is $28,130,000, which is astronomical. Definitely don't see that sticking around long. They're definitely going to get an extension with Z. I really just don't see that sticking. I could see like a 2-3 year extension on top of his contract next year. Billy Turner also restructured and added 2 void years, so they actually had to agree upon this. Most restructures, like the Za'Darius Smith one, the team can just do it. Za'Darius doesn't have to agree on that, and plus he's getting money, millions of dollars up front, so there's no reason not to. But the Billy Turner one had to be agreed upon because they added 2 void years. Basically, that pushed 4.425 of Billy Turner's salary into a signing bonus and added the 2 voidable years, allowing more money to be spread out further. So basically with those void years, it doesn't mean they added 2 more years to Billy Turner's contract, meaning he's going to be with us until 2024. That just allows them to spread cap out more. Packers generally never do this. It's not really a smart idea to do it, but it was kind of a must with the salary cap situation this year. All in all, the Packers, all those restructures pushed about $15 million into 2022. Not the best idea, but it had to be done. I think next year's cap is going to be even worse. I think there's going to be a lot more of this going down next year as well. I'll go over that in a second. And then the current Packers cap space is a whopping $1,037,777. Cue the confetti. But they can still save money if needed, which I still see them doing because they need more money for the 2021 draft class, some money to play around with, and they still can potentially sign free agents. An Aaron Rodgers restructure, a max restructure, would be saving them $16,340,000. If you want to watch more on the Aaron Rodgers restructure/extension saga, go click the link right here. I basically made a video about how much money and what can really be done, and if Aaron Rodgers wants an extension on top of that. I don't know if a full restructure is going to happen. It seems like they've been kind of going around Aaron doing all this. So I'm kind of still unsure what their goal is. I still think some form of restructure is going to happen with him because he does have the highest cap hit in the NFL this year. So I think that's definitely going to be touched. Also, Dean Lowry, if he's cut, they can save right around $2.5 million. I could definitely see that happening in the near few days. He's a good depth defensive lineman, but he's nothing crazy, nothing flashy. Definitely hasn't played up to his contract. I would just like new blood in there. I still think Kingsley Kiki's going to take his snaps anyway, so it's like you might as well save the $2.53 million and get someone else in there. They could also restructure some of Mason Crosby's bonus, saving roughly $1.3 million. So they could potentially do that just to save a little bit of extra cash. And then, of course, extending Davante Adams, which I definitely see happening very soon. It depends on the length and the money and all whatnot, but my estimation is right around $5.5 million would be saved off the current salary cap if he was to be extended. So going into next year's salary cap, I don't want to go too in depth, but I just kind of want to give you guys a little bit of a preview for 2022, because if you think this year was crazy with cap, next year is going to be pretty crazy too. This is on the basis that the cap rises to $205 million from the current $182.5. You got to estimate the cost of the 2021 and 2022 draft class. You have to estimate the cost of Jair Alexander's 5th-year option, which is right around $13 million, right above it. You have to estimate Elton Jenkins' proven performance escalator, which is right around $2 million. And then other small things like practice squad and filling the roster up to 51 players. After all that, after that's all said and done for next year, you're looking at $45 million over the cap roughly, which is insane. And that's not to say they're not going to obviously do more, and that's going to end up getting lowered with extensions and restructures, but as it sits right now, that's what it is. So buckle up. There's going to be a lot of cap things in the next couple years, especially with all the work they did right now to get under the cap for 2021. That's going to about do it for today. I just wanted to kind of update everyone the vast majority of things that have been happening in the Green Bay Packers organization for this free agency, which is a lot, which every team, it's everything's going wild, everyone's being cut, traded, all this and all the sort. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and as always, go Pack Go.